Morning, everyone. Or afternoon. Good morning for most of you. How's everybody doing? I just wanted to get on, and I don't really care how many people are here. We'll just do our own thing. I wanted to get on today and kind of rebalance myself because I have not only been doing I've been doing this alignment work for a long time, a lot of years, but the last 2-3 weeks have been really action oriented for me. And the collective is growing. We started the abundance blueprint. We're making a blueprint for work, for doing, you know uh, having a library and a publishing house. So there's a lot of action. And so I just want to share with you what's going on with me. So I know, hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, John. um, so here's the thing: no matter how long you do this work, the reality is that life comes to you in waves. You just have to accept that. It comes to you in waves. When you think you're right on track, the ocean comes and just gives you another wave. So our job is to understand that, life is coming at us in waves. Our job is to try to kind of try to learn how to surf those waves and use them to our advantage and kind of stay above the fray. And that's it. So that's really all it boils down to. And in order to do that, you've got to stay aligned. You've got to really have an anchor in balance. So I wanted to, anchor myself in balance today and bring all of you along for that ride. I also promised a couple of days ago that we would talk about the cycle of mind on a regular basis as well. And I know it's mirrored, but there it is. For those of you that have started to read that book or have gotten through that book, we'll just talk about some of the main concepts in there. And I also wanted to talk about the collective from a little bit of a bigger picture. I think sometimes when I send out a newsletter or communicate or even do a live, I'm like too intense into the channel that I'm thinking about, that I'm on. And this six-dimensional energy has been, it's not mirrored. Come on. No, you see that regular? Because I see it mirrored. Interesting. That's really interesting. Um, because sometimes when I write the newsletter, or that's why I'm not the greatest communicator, because I'm on a track and like I go deep, 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 deep into that track. And the track that I'm on now is this action that we're taking now to manifest the first goal of the collective. So big picture, the collective. If you're in the collective, you guys are here right now. If you're here, there are two tracks in the collective. The first one is the personal track. So our job as a collective is to help each member, give each one of us the tools to bring our own lives into balance and alignment. So that's the first goal, is get ourselves in alignment. Now, this has a lot of different facets, right? This has to do with changing our inner dialogue, like in the cycle of mind, identifying our internal values and principles. It has to do with health, keeping ourselves healthy, deep breathing, keeping this body in shape, meditating, flowing the energy and the light through our system. So these are health related things. And then the third aspect of this self development track is ascension. Opening up different powers and abilities that we have and thinking in terms of higher dimensional versions of ourselves. So, those are the three areas of personal development: changing yourself from the inside, character, values, principles, getting your relationships balanced, getting, just being comfortable with the lifestyle that you're living, maybe even simplifying your life, taking all the all the complexity and the confusion and the stress out of your life and just kind of simplify, just working on your life to get yourself more relaxed and in balance. And that's what I want to talk about today. The second thing has to do with health, the very specific thing. We got to take care of this body. We have to elevate this body. We have to recondition the body from the tension and the stress that we carry around by flowing the energy, flowing the light, clearing space, meditating on a regular basis, deep breathing, all those health related things. And that's the second thing you want to do in self development. And then, as we said, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh dimensional ascension. So you realize that you're actually not trapped in these subconscious ways. But it's interesting because the ascension work is tied to your health. So the healthier you are, the more light you can anchor, the more you can understand these things. And it's all also attached to your balance and your alignment. So there's three of the same things kind of interweaving your balance and alignment, your health, your ascension. That's one part of the track of the collective. And all of us, this is our personal journey. I'm on my journey in those three areas. You're on your journey. No point in comparing us to anybody else. So this is a personal journey. The second aspect of the collective is the collective piece of it, the part where we take all this knowledge that we have and we start applying it collectively. And the key to understand about collective action and collective consciousness and collective, manifestation, the key that I'm understanding, and I'm understanding this as we go. This is why I always say, be patient with me, be patient with the collective, just be patient with how things go, because we're learning as we go. The key to understanding this collective work is that we're anchoring the collective in the sixth dimension. So all the work that we do is in the sixth dimension. We don't talk about, what's going on in the third dimensional world. We don't talk about our personal problems because our personal problems relate to the first aspect of the work. How do we get ourselves under balance and alignment? We're all trying to do that, right? So the collective work is where we bring our sixth dimensional version of ourselves, the magnetic version of ourselves, and we agree on a few different things. Now, inside the collective, as I said, I think Sunday night, there are three areas that we're going to start with. There will be more areas of focus in the collective, but the three areas that we're going to focus on, the first one is creating a long-lasting, I'll call it a magnetic library of wisdom, knowledge, and just wisdom and knowledge and techniques that we can use. And we want to preserve this knowledge, use it for our own advantage as a collective, but make sure that this knowledge is preserved for future generations, hundreds of years from now. I like to think out 1,000 years. Hundreds of years from now, people will still have this magnetic vault that we're creating. They'll still have these books that we're creating, and that knowledge and information will be preserved by the collective. The second area of collective work is supporting parents and helping parents. Now that ties into the books, because a lot of the books that we're going to have and a lot of the journals and worksheets and things like that we're going to create are going to be applied to parents. They're going to be specifically written to help parents, bring the parents in balance, help them be better parents, help them show up for their kids better, help them find balance and alignment instead of constantly being overwhelmed by the responsibility of being a parent. So the first one is the library. The second one is support of parents. And then the third one is we're going to become I don't know, a center of excellence, but we're going to get really, really good at welcoming people into the community. We're going to have processes. We're going to have onboarding tracks that people can, oh, you're interested in health, go on this onboarding track. You're interested in meditation, go on this onboarding track, etc. So when you come into the collective, and right now the only one that we're activating is the books and the library. That's the first and, to me, the highest priority. So we're activating this part of the collective. We are creating a magnetic image in the sixth dimension of the collective as a book publisher, as a significant factor or force in the book industry. And we're going to learn everything we can about the book industry, and we're going to create this picture in the sixth dimension. And why is that going to manifest? Because we said so. In this sixth dimension, the way I'm picturing it now, the sixth dimension is I say magnetism, but it's like a living magnetism. It's really hard to explain. But in the sixth dimension, when we activate this picture, this blueprint of us being in the book publishing business, it lights up that picture. Now, me doing it by myself is not of any value. But when we group together and we form together the picture, so we all kind of agree in unity consciousness or collective consciousness that this is the picture we want to activate. Once this picture becomes activated and magnetized over and over and over again in the sixth dimension, and I'll say it like this: we as a collective are independent of the third dimension. Now, there are certain things that we depend on from the third dimension, but one by one, as we grow, we'll get rid of those dependencies. But for now, we do depend a little bit. But we're independent of the third dimension. We're not limited by the structures. We're thinking out of the box, totally different. And we're not limited by the structures. We're not limited by the limitations of the third dimension. But once we build this magnetic picture, the third dimension is bound by this picture. It has no choice but to begin to manifest this picture. And this sixth dimensional energy that I'm experiencing and that we're gathering and coalescing is very, very, very powerful. No joke. Very powerful. My wife says that's powerful juju. It's really powerful energy. And we're going to learn to activate it, focus it into pictures. So that's kind of the big picture, the personal path where you're working on your health, your character, your values, your relationships, getting control of your life instead of always being overwhelmed by your life, getting your health in order and learning how to open up different aspects of yourself in higher dimensional ways. That's the personal path. And that all of us are on our own personal journey. But then we're going to work together, as we've already started to do, to create an actual collective. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Let's do let's do the keyword focus meditation. Um, I was up really late last night, so I literally just woke up like 11:15 or 11:30. So I haven't done my morning meditation yet. So we're going to do it now. It is powerful stuff, John, it's it's not a fantasy. What we're doing is creating coherent waves of thought, but not guided to changing things in the third dimension, but to creating the kernel of something with as much specificity as we can in the sixth dimension, and then manifesting, and then just seeing what happens as that manifests in the third dimension. And if we give up on this picture, then the manifestation starts but doesn't stop. We constantly have to fuel it as members of the collective. So, regardless of our personal path, regardless of how far we are on the journey or how far away we are on the journey or how lost and overwhelmed we are on the journey, you still have sixth dimensional power. You still have the power to contribute to the collective vision. Even if you're off balance and whatever you contribute to the collective in terms of helping us with these plans, we're not doing anything. We're just building the plans in the sixth dimension. It is very, very powerful. It's different. It's a different kind of energy than I've ever experienced before. But now that we've got it, and the other thing I can tell you in the sixth dimension, as soon as you recognize the sixth dimension, time stands still, the present moment, we can choose our values and principles here in the sixth dimension, like kindness and generosity and health and helping other people. We can choose our values and principles here in the sixth dimension where they're never going to change, as opposed to being lost in the third dimension and saying, "Oh yeah, I'm this, I'm that, I'm a kind person, I'm a generous person," but you're doing it in the third dimension, so you're really not anchored to it. So in the sixth dimension, we can choose our values, but most importantly in the sixth dimension is we can swipe through timelines and we can start to anchor in a specific timeline that we choose. And the most important timeline, the highest priority timeline that we're creating, is to build ourselves as a center of excellence in books and publishing, because this will anchor us for the next 50 years. Once we anchor ourselves as a book publisher, as a source of this type of information, as we pull in aligned authors and we get all this great library going, that will anchor the collective in reality over many, many years. That'll give us actual three-dimensional power, so to speak. Let's do the keyword focus meditation, and we'll do the word patience and balance, but I also want to add another word to that, and we'll do another word, and that word is going to be um, let's call it collective consciousness rather than unity consciousness. But so we're going to do patience, we're going to do balance, and collective consciousness. So we're going to use the keyword meditation. Hi, Amy. Welcome. All right. Let's do the keyword focus meditation. I'm going to use the word patience, and balance. Just relax, release any tension that you're holding in your face, your shoulders, your back, your arms. Just release that and let yourself just completely relax. Even with your eyes closed, I want you to reverse your awareness, turn your sight, inner sight, back inside your being. This time, I want you to put your inner sight on the very lowest ribs. And I want you to see how each time your diaphragm expands, the lungs expand, the lower ribs just ever so slightly get pushed out, back in, and just look at that for a couple of breaths. Once you have turned your focus inside, sink it like a rock deeper, deeper, deeper into the ocean of your inner self. Now, I want you to see over your head, big letters, capital letters, the word patience. Patience. Now, patience is more than just a flat word. It has a lot of meaning. It has a lot of essence to it. It could mean many, many things. Patience with your children, patience while you're driving, patience while you're eating, patience with everything, patience with the collective, patience with your own journey. It means a lot of different things. So I want you to take that word and turn it into like a cloud of energy. And that energetic essence is patience. It's an essential energy. It's not just a word, it's an energetic cloud. And now I want you to start lowering that cloud of energy. And as soon as it touches the outside of your energetic field, all of that patience merges with your energetic sense. And just sit there quietly for the next minute or two. And let's lower that word patience and let it percolate through your emotional field, your energetic field, into your skin, your muscles, your bones. Become that cloud of energy. Absorb it until it's part of you. Merge yourself with this cloud of patience. Let it weave into your cells, into your DNA, into your skeleton. Patience. Now I want you to imagine the word balance above your head. It's the same thing. It's not just a word. It means, has a lot of different essential energy to it. It has an essence, a meaning, a kind of build a cloud of energy about the word balance. Build up that cloud and then just observe as that word balance and everything that it means and it's all its essential meaning just starts to touch your outer energetic field and let it sink into your own emotional field, your energetic field, your physical body. Balance, patience, and balance. Just feel it sinking deeper and deeper down into your system. So you become, your energetic system is now matched exactly the same as patience and balance. Let it percolate into your muscles, your bones, patience, balance. Be patient with your children. Be patient with your husband or wife, boyfriend or girlfriend. Be patient with the people around you. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with this whole journey that you're on. Just be patient. It'll all work out as it's going to work out. Be patient when you're shopping, when you're cooking, cleaning. Just be patient. Become that energy. Balanced. Balanced in all areas of your life. Not projecting outward, but just holding your balance. Balance by listening. Balance through patience. Balance in all areas of your life. I want to add one more phrase to this: collective consciousness, because we're all members of a collective and we're all doing this together. Whatever this is, we're doing it together, wherever it leads us. Collective consciousness. It's not just words, it has an energy, a meaning, an essential essence to what that is. And I want you to take that cloud of energy, collective consciousness, and lower it. And as soon as it touches the top of your energetic field, you begin to merge with the essence of those words, collective consciousness. Let it percolate into your skin, your muscles, your bones. Let it descend and let your energy become that energy, collective consciousness. We're not doing this for ourselves. We're not doing this for each other. We're doing it for the collective. We're ascending for the collective, and the collective is ascending for Earth. Higher purpose and meaning in your life, collective consciousness. Because you're not on this path alone. Your magnetic energy is affected by my magnetic energy. It's affected by his and hers. We're all on this path together and we're creating magnetic trails. And these trails are what bind us. This magnetism is what binds us together as a collective. This living magnetism binds us together as a collective. Patient, balanced, purposeful, together. That's a great meditation right there. Let's also do a little bit of deep breathing. I won't go into the instructions, just spend about the next 60 seconds making sure that you're filling your lungs up with air. You're drawing all the oxygen, the chi, the prana into your body, which then gets circulated to every cell in your body. So let's do some deep breathing. Expand your lung capacity. Hold it at the top. When I do my deep breathing, I try to hold it for about 5, 10, 12, 15 seconds, whatever I feel like it, and then exhale, whatever's comfortable. Try to pull your ribs apart. Try to relax your back muscles so that your lungs can expand and expand and expand. When you deep breathe, it's like giving your cells a treat, like an energy drink. The cells are like, heck yeah, like they're taking this extra oxygen and this extra chi or prana, life force, and they're using it and they're becoming more efficient. When you do this throughout the day, you're eventually going to raise your own vibratory rate. You're going to raise your own cellular vibration rate. You're going to um, you're going to as your vibration rate, your immune system improves. You get stronger and stronger and stronger. And we have to take accountability and responsibility for our own health. Nobody has a magic wand that's going to make you healthier. And it begins with deep breathing, begins with stretching, begins with cultivating the energy flow in your body. This is how you're going to get healthier and healthier. Look, I mean, right now, there is this three-dimensional healthcare system. That's what we have. But it's not really there that you know what it is to interact with that system. We've got to learn to take care of our own health, to heal our own things, to keep our own energy flowing. And if we don't, then your vibratory rate is low and you can do all the other things, but you're not healthy. You got to get your rate up over a period of weeks and months. Well, that was good because I didn't do my morning meditation this morning, so that was a good. I'm good. I did it. Meditation and breathing, as you say, John. Green check. Breathing and meditation. We did it. We did it together. It's just much easier to do this journey with other people, just easier. Even though when we X out of this, we're all on our own and we have to do that. Wait, meditate. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I'm not sure that that I'm supposed to be doing that, or that that's good. I just want you to know I listen to these guided meditations every day, particularly the one we just did, the patience, the balance, the keyword focus, the clearing space. If you haven't done that meditation in a few days, just keep doing that. Just keep clearing space, and each time you'll understand at a higher level. The chakra activation, that's a daily meditation you need to be doing every day to keep the energy flowing. So, how's everybody feeling about where we're at, where we're going? Thoughts? I mean, one of the things that we have as a collective, I really think we're creating something unique. I don't know of any other organization that's operating in the sixth dimension. I know of a few that operate in the fourth dimension, which is what I originally thought we were going to do, but there's nobody else that's operating in the sixth dimension that has this magnetic creative power that we're building, and we're learning how to use it. We're building. How do you get the recording? Yeah. So inside the book, Angela, each meditation, there are 4 guided meditations and there's a QR code. So it's like a journal. It prompts you with a couple of questions and then some affirmations, and then it has a QR code so you can actually listen to it on your phone. My days are calm, organized, and thoughtful. My days are calm, organized, and thoughtful. I embody everything I want to be. I embody everything I want to be. I can change anything about myself. Think about that tool, that this keyword focus tool that we have. Just think about that one tool that we have available to us. We can use that tool like we did. We applied it to patience and balance, collective consciousness. You can really start to incorporate or embody really anything that you want to be. Like, you can use the keyword focus and just think about health, and just start to absorb just the word health, which clearly is more than just a word, is a whole energy meaning to the word health, an essential meaning, and you can just embody that energy. Think about that. That's really pretty powerful. I am patient with myself during this process. I'm just reading some of the affirmations. I am patient with myself during this process. Meditation is easy when I focus on what feels good. Meditation is easy when I focus on what feels good. Even short meditations are a powerful step forward. Hey, Jason. Even short meditations are a powerful step forward. Just even just keep moving in the right direction. Keep moving every day. Do something. I'm going to try to do more lives. There's one problem with the lives is that every time I do a live and I close it out, it sent blasts an email to 5,000 people. And so people don't want to get that many emails. And so a lot of people are unsubscribing. So I'm trying to learn a way to not have it blast, but I'm still working on that. I apply patience to every area of my life. I apply patience to every area of my life. Has anyone done this patience meditation and gotten this feeling, this energy, like while you're driving, or all of a sudden while you're talking to your kids, and this subconscious reminder of patience comes in? It's a beautiful thing when these keywords start to percolate into your energy system, they start to percolate into your being, you it kind of works to remind you it's important to start every morning with clarity and purpose. It's important to start every morning with clarity and purpose. I'm on a sacred journey to a more balanced life. As I was saying earlier, I know some people came in the middle, or after we started, but okay. So they're in the collective. It's starting to come clearer to me over time as more people interact and engage, and as we start to do more activities and we start talking about higher and higher things. These energies and forces are starting to become clearer to me as to what we're doing. But it is pretty clear to me that inside the collective, there are two main paths, and you have to do both of them. If you do one without the other, it's not right. If you do this one without this one, it's not right. Yeah. And yes, Trace, just keep that up. Just keep up those reminders every time you put your hands on the steering wheel. Just relax and just be in the present moment and observe. I just can't tell you, like when you drive the same way every time. Like I go to the health club, I go to the, supermarket, all within like 3 miles of my house, right? And when I drive back, I'm listening to the radio or talking to myself or singing a song to myself. I'm not paying attention whatsoever. And what happens is your conscious mind it like blurs everything else out except the car and the road in front of you, and everything else is blurred out. And your conscious mind holds that pattern of what it was, and you're not actually seeing it. You're only seeing and aware of a very limited thing. When you reverse yourself into six-dimensional awareness, into the present moment, poof, the whole scenery. You can now drive down this same road you've driven 100 times, except now you see the trees and the houses. I never saw that before because you've never been conscious. You've been unconscious, and now you can see everything. Right. So there's beautiful things, man. It really is a beautiful thing. So the two tracks of the collective. On one track, we're working on self-development. We're working on bringing ourselves into balance and alignment, getting rid of old negative unconscious, subconscious habits and replacing them with more conscious, enlightened habits, more health habits, more energy flow, all of our personal journey. This is what we do when we go back into our hobbit holes. We're all here. We come out of our hobbit holes. We meet. We meet in the sixth dimension, and then we all go back to our lives. I go back to my life, you go back to your life, she goes back to her life, and that's what we're doing in that life, is doing our personal self-development, becoming more balanced and aligned, doing our deep breathing, practicing these meditations every day, flowing the energy and the light, experiencing higher dimensional ascension. This is all a personal journey. But then when we get together as a collective, well, of course, we still do this work. We want to make sure you have the tools to be able to do this yourself. But then we have the second branch of the collective, which is the work we're doing together, the energetic work, the six-dimensional magnetic work that we're doing to create new timelines. And the new timelines are for us. We're creating our own future timeline. And this timeline will benefit all of us in the collective, and the collective will eventually radiate health and healing and benefit to everyone out there. So we're going to become a source of knowledge, a source of wisdom, a source of teaching, a source of healing, a source of compassion, and just, being present for other people. And we're going to do that by building a stable collective that's operating on its own revenue and has it just works on its own now. And we're not there yet. That's what we're creating. So we're creating this new timeline for the collective, and we're creating new timelines for ourselves, health wise, meditation wise, spiritual wise. These are personal timelines. And then we merge together to create a collective timeline. And that's the two branches. You have to do both. You can't just work on yourself personally and say, I don't want to do what they're doing. And I don't want to contribute to that. I don't really want to. I'm good. And you're just taking the knowledge and the wisdom and you're doing this, but you're not adding to the collective. Same thing. You can't be super active in the collective. Boy, I really appreciate you're here, your energy. This is great, but you're not doing the personal work to develop. You're not ascending. You're not becoming more balanced and aligned. So you've got to do both tracks. They're both important. You can't, well, you can, but you don't want to do one without the other. You want to do them both. Well, you want to be a higher level person, higher vibration, all that good stuff, right? You want to be a better human being and then bring that better, clearer, less dense version of yourself over to the work that we're doing together as a collective. And you want to take this work we're doing as a collective and then bring that over to yourself and make sure that you're staying aligned and balanced and flowing with much and energy and light. hmm And what we're doing with this magnetic energy, and we can talk about this a little bit more if you want. What we're doing with this magnetic energy is not imaginary. We're creating, what would be the right word, like cohesive rhythms of consciousness, cohesive rhythms of thought that are, because we're doing them all together. I do it at 12 o'clock. She does it at 2. She does it at 4 in the morning. It doesn't matter when you do it because it's not three-dimensional energy, this magnetic energy. We're building this blueprint. In this case, very specifically, we're building a blueprint to be a center of excellence in publishing and books and creating a media library. We're creating a center of excellence. We're doing this work together. And the more that we energize, and that's why we'll definitely do this now, the more that we energize this picture, the more it hums with living magnetic energy. And the third dimension has no choice but to respond to that energy. How it does it, it's not our concern. We're operating in the sixth dimension, and then we're observing the results. And the way these cycles work, it's really important, is you put the work in, you do the active part of the cycle, you do the energy work, you focus on, if it's for your own personal development, your thought matrix. If it's for the collective, you focus on these blueprints that we're creating, these collective blueprints. You do that active work, and then the next part of the cycle is important. You have to observe what comes back to you. You have to be very observant about how the world has changed based on your actions. In the cycle of mind, I say it. If you keep mind focused on a specific point, mind is going to draw you to the thought. That's me. So you have to do the creation work, do the work, the intentional work of either personally developing your character or collectively developing a timeline for the collective. You have to just do the work, and then it's really important to watch and see what comes back. Like, for example, I've put all of my focus and attention into this abundance blueprint for creating a center of excellence in publishing. All kinds of new concepts are coming back to me, all kinds. Like, wow, like we need to get authors. We need to, I can't even explain it. Like, there's so much that's coming into my mind. So the more you put your mind on this, the more not only do you personally start to see the results, but all these results add up collectively. So this is the blueprint for those of you. Well, you got the email, right? I've added a few things, and this is a living document. This is not a once and done document. This is something I look at, scribble on, cross things out, add my own notes. You want to burn this picture into your mind. You want to burn this picture into your consciousness and use the six-dimensional magnetic energy that you have to burn that picture and just give it energy and life and give it pulsation. And once that thing, it already has started to manifest. But every time you think about this picture, this collective work that we're doing, this collective work that we're doing to build the collective, the more time you spend on that, the more power and energy and magnetism you give to it, the more it burns bright and the stronger it's going to attract. And if we keep doing this over a period of days and weeks and months, the third dimension has no choice but to modify itself to fit this vision. Do I know how or who or what? Nope. But I know if we keep doing this six-dimensional work, and I really do believe, and it's not imaginary. We're creating cohesive, coherent, thought forms that are forming magnetic vibrations that are gonna it's not imaginary. Sounds as I explained it, it sounds like science fiction, but it's not. It's exactly how things work. And we're gonna do it. We're doing it. We've already done it. We're gonna keep doing it. So I wanna if you can go back to the email that you got that has this image, I don't know if you can print it out from there or whatever, but there are 3 things that we're going to be working on in the beginning as a collective. We're working on number 1 right now, and then we'll do number 2 and number 3. But number 1 right now is we are setting a timeline for the collective. So we're in the 6th dimension. We're swiping away all the timelines we don't want, with zillions of timelines where we're confused or we don't know what we're supposed to do or we're sitting around waiting for someone to solve our problems. Those are timelines we don't want. And we're anchoring in a higher timeline where we are a center of excellence for book publishing and creating a library, creating a media library, and not just creating a library, but creating it magnetically in a way that it's going to last for 1,000 years. That's what the collective is going to have. I mean, then we're there already. We're already doing it. We're already starting it. I don't know how it's going to manifest, but the energy has already been magnetized, and we're going to remagnetize it again. We're going to reinforce that again right now, and keep looking at this. I know like I said, there's 2 aspects of the work in the collective. One is your own journey, your own self-development, your own health, your own meditation. But yes, do that. But don't do that to the exclusion of, I'm going to do this, but I'm not going to help that. You got to help it, even if you're not involved in the book project. Doesn't matter. You're doing it for the collective because you're adding energy and power to the collective and you're manifesting the timeline. And the way timelines work is the reason the 3rd dimensional reality even exists is because we all give it our energy and our attention. We give it our breath every day. And so it blows it up like a balloon and it's still blown up. But when you withdraw your energy, you could see that the 3rd dimension, that reality begins to lose power. And when more of us withdraw from that, it loses a little bit. We don't rely on the health system, so the health system loses a little power. We don't rely on the economic system, so that loses a little power. We don't rely on the government waiting to help us, so that loses. Over time, as we withdraw our power from that, you can now ignore that and focus on putting your power into a higher timeline. Like I said, I don't know of any other collective or group that's operating in this 6th dimension. It's very unique. And we're building timelines. And yes, you're getting healthier and more abundant and all that, but that's only part of the problem. Now, that's only part of the path. The next is we've got to give our energy to the collective journey. So we are going to become a center of excellence in book publishing, and we're going to create a magnetic library, a magnetic vault that contains all this wisdom and all this knowledge that we have and that we want to preserve and make sure that it's preserved for future generations. That we create literally the world's greatest school of enlightenment, magnetize it, manifest it in books and journals and workbooks and audibles and videos and all kind of a library that we create that people have access to. And so that this wisdom, this knowledge will be preserved for future generations. Because a lot of this knowledge and wisdom is out there, but it's scattered in so many places. And now, because of the internet, we don't even know what's true and what's not. So we're going to draw like the secret of the golden flower. We're going to draw this wisdom into this vault. And we're going to make sure that this wisdom about activating your light body, rising in light consciousness, those of you that are doing the secret of the golden flower, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Like just literally becoming a being of light, activating that, flowing the light and the energy. We want to make sure that wisdom never gets lost. Not like some random person like me comes across a book and tries to figure it out and one person knows about it. We want to put it in the library and make sure everybody knows about it. Not just today, but for the next hundreds of years. We want to preserve this wisdom for the future. That's what the collective is about. And then we'll do the second one. We'll do the parenting one. I'm not sure that comes second. I think the next one is how do we build and grow the community? How do we create an onboarding sequence for people? How do we make people comfortable? How do we transition people right away into just becoming, $10 a month members? How do we become experts at that? How do we make people feel comfortable? Make people feel like there's always something for them. I can't do that by myself. So we'll create another blueprint for that at some point in the not too distant future. And then we'll finally create a blueprint for parenting, and will become a source of healing and support for parents and for their children. And all of that ties into the books, because a lot of the books are going to be for parents. The books are going to be for kids. And we're going to learn how to create dozens and hundreds of different types of books and journals and workbooks and audibles and videos. We're going to learn how to create all of that content. And that's our timeline. That's our timeline. And then this is important to understand, right? So we're here building this timeline. Imagine yourself with a hammer and nail. You're part of the construction crew, right? We're hammering, we're nailing this thing, we're visualizing it, we're modifying it, we're learning, bang, 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 bang. And someone was on a live yesterday. I was on TikTok, and somebody said, well, what about all the people in poverty who are suffering? And I said, hold on. All right, so I'm going to stop building this higher dimensional thing, which is going to help millions of people in the future. It's going to last for generations. I'm going to stop building this thing and then go back to the third dimension and try to fix all the problems of the third dimension. Right? And don't think of it as being heartless or cruel or unempathetic. We're doing what we know is the best for the future of humanity. And once we have this, all people can be healed. But if we try to go back and solve one problem at a time, that's what the third dimension is. You're trying to solve problems in the third dimension. And of course, you don't have the power to do that. You only have the power to change yourself. But here we can manifest collective timelines, future timelines, and just start to live in those timelines. And so when someone says, well, what about, the war in Ukraine? I mean, I feel terrible about that. I see what's going on, but what's the best that we can do as a small collective? What we can do is we can create something great. We've got to anchor ourselves in higher dimensional thoughts, timelines, goals, objectives, visions, realities. We've got to anchor ourselves there and then draw everyone who's ready into that timeline. And that's what I think. But this magnetic energy, the six dimensional energy, it's like, wow, it's just very, very powerful as I'm starting to experience it more and more. So we are going to create, what are we doing? We're going to create a center of excellence in book publishing. We're going to create a magnetic vault that includes all the knowledge and wisdom. We're going to encourage aligned authors. We're going to encourage aligned authors to be part of this library. We want their thoughts. We want all the great books of the past. We want to incorporate them into our library. And we're going to win in the book market. And it's important that we win so that we start to generate cash flow, so we don't need to take money from our own members. We can start to create our own operating budget. And it's really important over the long term that these books and journals and audibles and videos end up being a long-term source of income and are self-sustaining, so we can continue to create more and more books and create more and more, and we're just going to get better and better at it, faster and faster and faster. But it's important that we win so that we actually generate money to continue and sustain ourselves, so we don't have to go find advertisers, we don't have to find corporate sponsors, we don't have to ask our members to pitch in more money. We've got to create our own economy. And that's part of why I think the books are really important. Not that that's a windfall. Like all of a sudden we're going to make, $40 million from books. But we'll make enough to maintain our own operating budget and be able to employ graphic designers and book designers and, people that can help us with all these steps of publishing books. And of course, we're going to learn to use AI. And why is this creating a center of excellence in book publishing? Why is this the number one priority? Why is it so important? Why is it worth our time? Why is it worth my time? Why is it worth your time? It's worth our time because literacy and education, I'm reading from the blueprint, literacy and education are highest priorities for the collective. Literacy and education are highest priorities for the collective, because we can't allow reading and books and literacy. We can't even allow the English language to deteriorate into nothing. We have to preserve the knowledge and the wisdom that we have to preserve the English language so that this and look, I mean, I know people speak other languages, but just look around the world. Educated people around the world, they send their kids to America to learn to speak English. English is a beautiful language. I'm not saying it's equivalent to Sanskrit or equivalent to Chinese, but what is the language of the future? As America becomes less and less important, as England becomes less and less important, as people don't want to send their kids over to America to go to college because of whatever's going on here, like what's going to happen? The whole English language is becoming less important. Well, that's what's happening in the third dimension. We are expanding a library that's in English, and I encourage everyone around the world to learn to speak English. Also, in our library will be how to learn to speak English. So we're not just going to say, oh, learn to speak English. We're going to have videos and tutorials and take the best stuff from the internet and make sure that that's part of our library so that people can learn to speak English, so they can learn these concepts, so they can work with us as a collective. And I'm not saying we won't have other branches, that speak different languages. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. But for right now, the most important trend that's happening is we're losing our literacy, not just literacy in words and numbers, but literacy in ideas, literacy in conversation, literacy in relationships. We're gonna change that vector, and we're gonna work. However little group we can do, we're going to push that in the other direction. We want to preserve literacy. So why are we doing it? Because literacy and education are high priorities for the collective. Why are we doing it? Because we want to preserve this wisdom for future generations. Future generations need to access this wisdom and not be confused what's true, what's not true. We in our library, we're going to show people how to expand their consciousness. Well, everything. There's going to be all kinds of things in our library. And most importantly, we're creating through this library that we're creating, we're just creating a higher vibrational wavelength. And we're going to stay at this wavelength and draw other people to that higher vibrational wavelength. So the library itself is like almost like an energetic repository, a magnetic vault that has its own wavelength, and people can rise to that wavelength and become better. Anyway, that's what I think. And this is like really become the most important thing to me. And the more I read this, the more I look at it, the more I repeat it, the more I keep it in my own head, all of a sudden the like ideas come to me like to make this bigger, better. That's the whole point of doing the work, because we're activating unseen forces, in this case very powerful six-dimensional magnetic forces. We're activating them, and we don't know what's going to happen from that. They're unseen forces, and all of a sudden all these ideas are coming to me. All these ideas are coming to you, as you like, maybe we could do this in the library, maybe we could do that, maybe we could include this person. All of these things are unknown to us until we start creating this wavelength, this six-dimensional magnetic wavelength. Just keep pumping it. Just keep keeping a balanced rhythm of our goals and our objectives in the book publishing market. And all of a sudden, all kinds of ideas are going to come to us. All kinds of people are going to come into our realm. You know what I'm saying. It's not imaginary. It's true. Yep. Yep, that's great, Jason. 100%. And that's the point. These ideas, now that we have this idea of creating, center of excellence in book publishing, now gives us a magnet to filter the things that come to us and say, oh yeah, like there's 100 things happening, but this one right here, you might be help us be part of this. Like you might help us manifest this. It just creates clarity. It gives us a purpose, and it gives us a motivating purpose where we're all working toward the same thing. We're all working towards the same goal. That's collective consciousness. And the second thing we're going to do is we're going to create parenting groups. And parenting groups, I mean, wow, just think of the people we'll be able to help. And then we're going to learn how to do better as a community and welcome people in, and what tools we can use, and how we can create onboarding sequences and make people feel comfortable. Imagine if we just did those three things as a collective. That would be more than enough, but that's only the beginning. There's many, many, many more things, more blueprints that we can create in other areas that are going to help. So the more I see this vision, and you guys have made it real. Like I've imagined these things in my head, but now oh yeah, there's this real magnetic energy that's making it happen. And well, you're here. You don't think I'm crazy. It sounds crazy, but I need to stop saying that. because it doesn't matter what it sounds like. This is the truth about how. And the other thing is make sure that we're always as a collective aligned with Mott, that we're always aligned to do good. We're always aligned to be in balance and to be truthful and to be honest and to be helpful and kind and generous and aligned and balanced and healthy. We always want to make sure that that is the underlying rhythm that we're working at as a collective. Boom, there you go. We said it. It's not crazy, it's true. And we're manifesting it right now as we speak. So what are we doing? We're going to be a center of excellence in book publishing. We're going to create a magnetic vault to preserve knowledge and wisdom. We're going to encourage aligned authors to participate with us and learn with us and be part of their growth as well. And we're going to win in the book market. We're actually going to create enough revenue so we don't need to ask other people for money, where we can do this and continue to grow that part of our business ourselves. Why are we doing this? Because literacy and education are highest priorities for the collective. Literacy and education, especially moving forward into the future, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 75 years from now, we have to make sure that people have books and they know how to read and they're still speaking English in the world. I've studied history, and I'm telling you, if you fast forward 200 years, 300 years, it's possible that not a lot of people speak English anymore, which is what an incredible waste that would be, because so much knowledge has been gathered in the English language. Most of it is three-dimensional knowledge, but so much knowledge and science and engineering has been written in English. We have to preserve that. We've got to preserve the English language. And we're creating a higher vibrational wavelength. This magnetic vault of books and videos that we're creating, this media vault, is going to create a higher wavelength that will attract other people and help and draw other people to it. And we're going to leave our mark on future generations. That's what the collective is doing. What do we have to learn? We have to learn a million things about book publishing. We have to learn about the tools, the various tools that we use, and how to format the books. We have to understand each step in the book publishing process so that we become masters of every step and we learn exactly the most efficient ways to do it. We have to create a center of excellence in illustration, book illustration, and cover designs. We have to learn how to incorporate AI into the process of book publishing. We have to understand legal and copyright and tax issues. We have to understand, once we have a book, how do we market it? And how do we create web pages for it? How do we market a book on Amazon? Another thing I was thinking about, because as you write a book, what happens is you get all these files, these Word documents. We have to learn how to be experts at file management to keep it simple for the author and to be able to take their files and make sure they're captured and stored in the right place. We have to understand that there are many, many different ways to design books. So we need to understand we need to create book designers. I have an idea that this is one of the ideas that came to me. So we need book designers. We need people that'll take a transcript and be able to design the chapter headings and a couple of illustrations. Like each book has a different style or a different design style, if you know what I mean. Like straight line across or a little squiggly line at the top. There are all these different design styles. I want to take all of these graphic designers. I don't know how they make money, but they're all these freelance graphic designers, and turn them into book designers, teach them how to do book design. So then we can have more and more and more books all the time coming in, and these designers can work with us. So all the resources are out there. They're all going to bend and conform to our picture. We just have to kind of see how that goes. Well, that was good. Just talking about that makes it real. Well, that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. I have big news for you. For all you college football fans, Beverly and I are tonight at 7 o'clock going to be at Kennesaw State University as they play the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. And we are going to our first college football game of the year. And I'm so excited. It's a Thursday night. Great game on tomorrow night. USF, don't tell me. USF plays somebody really important. That's Friday night. And then Saturday is just a blessing of college football. So tonight, as soon as we hang up here, we're going to start getting ready to go to our game tonight. So anyway, any other thoughts, comments? I'm so excited about what's happening in my life. And that's another thing. Let's replace all the negativity. Get rid of all that. Get rid of what the problem is and what I can't do. And some people have problems that rise to the top and you can't get them out of your awareness. Like if you have physical pain or like medical that rises to the top. It makes it really difficult to ascend. But maybe your problems, maybe you can ascend anyway, right? Get rid of the negativity and the limitations and I can't, and replace all that with where we're going in the future. And every time someone says, how do you solve this problem? What about this? Aren't you upset about politics? I'm freaking hammering away over here. Why do I need to listen to that, right? The more I listen and try to solve problems there or try to explain to people that forget about those problems. Let's build something better. It just pulls us away from our own task. So anyway, I have so much, I have so much energy running through me, man. It's crazy. Whew. Seriously, like seriously stuff. Hey, Trace, have a great day and a great weekend if we don't talk again before the weekend. And remember, Friday, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be here again doing specifically one of the guided meditations. I'll probably do the clearing space meditation tomorrow at 4. That'll go for about an hour and a half. And then tomorrow at 9 p.m. at night, we're going to work on this again. And we're going to get an update from Amy. You ready to give us an update, Amy? Do you have anything to report to us tomorrow night? We'll get an update on this and we'll just keep working on magnetizing this blueprint, making it real, putting real energy into it, and then observing how it starts to yoke and manifest in the third dimension. Ooh, big stuff. I'm telling you what, guys, I've been thinking about this for many, many years. You are what's making it real for me. You're making it real. I mean, it's a real thing now. The collective is lifting off the ground. As they say, the starship is lifting off the ground. And we're not fixing things in the third dimensional world. This is also important to understand. We're creating new things in the third dimensional world, new things that are more aligned with higher principles. Like we're creating this book repository and media library. It's not fixing anything that's going on. It's creating something new and adding a new type of energy that didn't exist before. And now people can be attracted to it because now this energy pattern exists. We're not going one by one and fixing the 8 trillion. I've got a list of 8 trillion problems in the third dimensional world and maybe 80 trillion problems. We can't go down the list and fix them. We have to create new things that are higher vibrational, higher energy, higher dimensional, using higher abilities. We create these new things, and as they manifest in the third dimensional world, it transforms the third dimensional world itself. Our little corner of the world is now real, and that's an energy that is attractive to other people and they can ascend along with us. There you have it. I'm really amped up. I mean, I'm so grateful to everyone who's here and everyone who shows up. And I mean, I cannot tell you. I mean, it means a lot to me, but it actually lights up the collective. It actually see, like, look at the sixth dimension, this platform that we have. Look at it like just like a dark stage. We can put any play that we want on this stage. We can write any script, do any play, but unless some of us are plugged into it, it's just imaginary. But the more people and people are starting to plug their light into it, when you plug into it, that lights up the stage and now becomes real. And now we can actually start making up scripts and future timelines. And the more people that plug into it, the more it lights up, the more it's real. Just like the more people that plug into the third dimension, the more that's real. Unplug from that and plug into a higher dimension way of being and plug into the collective, give your light to the collective, give your energy, your power, and oof, it actually lights up the stage. It becomes real. And it is now real because I'm telling you, I'm feeling this six dimensional energy. It's very, very, very powerful. I can't explain it any other way than like a living magnetism, very powerful. And the other thing that I'm doing is taking this magnetic energy and bringing it down into my body because we already are. I explained, that thing of the wave. We are magnetic beings. We do have magnetism in us, and it's this I'm bringing this magnetism and seeing how it flows and anchors in my own body. And it doesn't really anchor. It's like a flame. It's like a pulsating flame that's inside me. And this magnetism is now becoming part of my body. And this is my experience as we go through this. And all I can tell you is my favorite saying. I started this a couple of years ago. Like, I would get this incredible insight, this incredible advancement. And I would just say, oh my God. And this is only day one. This is just the plateau from which we're going to continue to learn more and continue to learn more and continue to learn more. So this is only day one. We have so much more to go, so much more exciting things to do, powerful things. And we're doing it together in unity consciousness. Yay for us. There we go. So please put your energy into this. Um, Help those of us that are working on this specifically, help us make this happen. Help make this a magnetic reality. And all you have to do is operate in the sixth dimension. You don't have to do anything. Because here's another thing. The more you fix it and say, okay, this is the way it's going to be, the more you fix it, you lose all that magnetic power because now you're doing one little thing. You want to just allow, as I was telling Amy, um, when you talk to other people, and just recognize and allow the possibility that this thing will happen really fast and it'll start to expand really, really fast. And don't limit it. Like, don't say it has to be like this or like that. Let it flow. Let it happen as it's going to happen, because we don't understand how this magnetic energy works. It's very powerful. My wife would say it's powerful juju. It really is powerful juju. And just let it flow and let the magnetic energy, let's just ride with that. And let's just keep pumping into this picture, putting our energy and our power into this blueprint, and just see what happens, see what the universe brings us, and just let it keep bringing us more and more and more and more abundance. So don't like tie it down to think, okay, it's going to be like this, or we're going to these. We don't know yet. Don't anchor it. Don't try to rope it in yet. Just let it grow and grow and grow. And then we just keep trying to figure out, okay, now how do we do it now? Now we have more knowledge, more information, more people involved. Now what? We'll just keep letting this thing expand and expand. And it's crazy because we literally created it with just a picture, just a simple 3 circles. What are we doing and why are we doing it? What do we need to learn so that we can execute this plan? And then what are we going to do differently? What habits are we going to create now that are going to support this plan? The simplest picture in the world. And we're actually creating something, which is not a nothing. We're being a center of excellence in publishing. We're creating a magnetic vault that contains all the knowledge and wisdom of the universe. Pretty big things. And we did it just by looking at a picture and magnetizing and energizing that picture in unity consciousness. And I've always known that this is possible, but now we're here and we're actually happening. It's happening. So thank you all for your commitment, your support, your continued presence, your continued energy. I just love it. Let's see where this goes. Let's keep pushing on the pedal. And don't worry, you can't go too fast. Just keep pushing on the pedal, pushing on the pedal, keep going faster, faster, faster. The universe, you can't go too fast for the universe. The universe will manifest. It'll just keep going. But now we're doing group manifestation, much, much more powerful. That feels good. All right. All right, guys. Well, everyone have a great day. And I'll see you guys Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, and then again at 9 p.m. Eastern on Friday to discuss this. Here we go. All right. See you guys. Everyone have a great day. Stay balanced and keep doing the work. Keep deep breathing. Love you guys all. Thanks. And maybe we can debrief about this on the chat and just keep that going. But I keep asking that, but somehow we got to get that chat going. We'll figure it out. All right. Take care, everybody. Everyone have a great day. And thank you all again for being here. I appreciate every single one of you, and every single moment you spend here is all plugging into something higher. We got this. Appreciate you all.